Hi, you guys. March is over and I'm going to let you know what I read. So, in the month of March, I read, hold your breath, 11 books. 11 books! So the first book that I finished in the month of March was Parable of the Sower. To be fair, I started it in February, but I finished this one in March. This is a dystopian, kind of apocalyptic, the world is ending, uh, the world's on fire, this is how we survive. And then there's also an element of religion in the sense that the main character, who was raised with Christian beliefs, is trying to navigate and figure out her own thoughts about God. This one is hard to rate. I would struggle to put this one at a 3, between a 3 and a 3.5. It wasn't really my favorite. So next, Blacktop Wasteland. I tandem listened and read this book. I tried starting this book a couple of months ago and I just could not get into it. It's about a young man who races cars. I don't care really about cars, but I'm glad I gave it another try. This one dealt a lot with family and just the struggle between trying to distance yourself from a life that you have grown up in and kind of inherited from your parents, and also trying to do better for your current family. I think this touched on that a lot. Like most of S.A. Cosby's books, this is set in the South. Also in S.A. Cosby fashion, this is riddled with there's violence. Next, I listened to Hardline by Mark Greaney. Is it Greaney? This is part of a series. This was book 15 in the series, the Gray Man series. I love the Gray Man. He is a former CIA operative. If you like reading about clandestine operations, if you like reading about government and politics, I didn't think I would, but these kind of books really make me think, like, man, is this stuff really happening? Like, are they really dispatching black op assassins to take people out? There's just something about him. He's not warm and cuddly, but you're just drawn to him in some way. Loved Hardline. And then I kind of switched gears and I read Just Friends by Haley Pham. She is a booktuber and she's also a Christian. I just wanted to support her. It's a childhood friends to lovers second chance romance. It really reads YA, which I appreciate. I like the intimacy closed door. Like, we don't need to know all the business. It also dealt with grief and loss, and that grief was a heavy, almost like a character in this book. And then I tandem read and listened to The Exes by Leodora Darlington. This was a mystery thriller. There is this young lady who finds that these men that she gets in relationships with do not treat her well. She does not choose men well, and that has to do with some childhood trauma that she has gone through, but she doesn't choose men well. And then when they mess up and do her dirty, they end up gone. They're out of here. And so it just follows, like, what is happening to these men. There was a twist that was pretty interesting, and there was some interesting twists. I enjoyed this book. The next book that I read was actually, or I listened to, the audio was actually a memoir called Be Ready When the Luck Happens. It was a memoir, Ina Garten's memoir, read by her. And I enjoyed that book. If you've heard of Barefoot Contessa, I didn't know a whole lot about Ina Garten, but I knew she wrote cookbooks and she has a show on the Food Network, and I enjoyed it. Follow your passions. That's what I got. I've got for that. And there's space to figure it out. Next, I listened to Dear Debbie by Freida McFadden. Listen, I gave Sister Freida another chance because after I read The Crash by her, I was done. But I kept hearing like, this female main character in Dear Debbie, she is unhinged. And that piqued my interest. What does that say about me? One thing I will say about Debbie, though, she's gonna protect the people she loves. Okay, I will say that. And I can relate to that. And then I read Recursion. I was nerding out a little. I don't know if you can see the tabs. I I didn't think I was a science fiction girl, but I enjoyed the science in this. Just a lot of science around the brain and memory, and it touched on just time. Is time real? This book really got me thinking about past, future, present. Like, it was really mind bendy. I enjoyed the characters, a brilliant female main character, who really had just a heart to help her mother go through a difficult diagnosis. And that's kind of where it started. And she created something that had tremendous impact on the world. And then the other male main character is a detective, and then we just kind of see the ripple effects of female main characters' decisions and inventions, how they play out on the rest of the world, but also his life in particular. So, but it is a lot of time jumping, and it's very easy to be confused. I listened to and read a little through a library ebook, A Love Like the Sun by Rhys M. Nilsen. This is also another romance. I keep saying I don't really like romance, but sometimes you just need, like, I read this after Recursion, so maybe my mind was just like, I need something not that I don't have to think about too much. So this is again a childhood best friend to lovers. It also has a trope of fake dating. So there it is light, but it does also tackle, it has depth. It tackles grief, and it tackles loss, and it tackles caring for a loved one with an illness, and just a lot of self-sacrifice and things like that. The female main character, she was written well, and the back and forth, I'm like, girl, would you just let somebody love you, please? Usually sometimes a fake dating trope, I don't get why you have to fake date, but this one made sense. The stakes were pretty high to why they had to choose the fake dating. I think I gave that like a 3.75 in points taken off for the spiciness of it that I didn't like. Next was Days at the Murasaki Bookshop. This was a buddy read that I did with my husband. I didn't like this book. I'm gonna be real. The female main character is young, and she experiences a relational heartbreak, which sends her on a self-discovery type of journey. This was hard to get through for me. It just wasn't engaging enough, and some of the things I'm like, why are we reading about this? Why do I care about this kind of? And I'm wondering if because this is translated, like some of the connectivity and some of the impact got lost in translation. And then the last book that I read, I don't have my Kindle, but it was a ebook, and it was an advanced reader copy. So this was It Could Have Been Her by Lisa Jewell. This book comes out in June. It is a mystery thriller, and it follows a 50-year-old single woman named Jane who is kind of lost and trying to figure out what's next for me. What is my life look like? She's kind of dealing with and holding on to some past family trauma, and she stumbles upon this lost dog that leads her into trying to find a missing person. One thing I will say about Lisa Jewell is she really knows how to write a psychological disturbing character. If that is what you like, Lisa Jewell does this well. And in this book, there are many characters that are psychologically disturbed. What happened to you to make you like this? I enjoyed it. What drove me is I needed to know what's happening. And it just really makes you think about how your upbringing really shapes you in your formative years and your home life. It's important. The pacing was slow. It was crawling along. The pacing was not. Those are the 11 books that I read, you guys. One of my goals for this year was to read more physical books with my eyes. Only 3 of the books that I read were strictly audio. 3 of the 11? We are hitting goals, okay? Let me know if you've read any of the books that I read this month or last month, and let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video.